So I did not think that things could be getting any worse between Landon and Liz. But guys, they actually are. This story is even more unfortunate than we thought. And if you thought you hated this guy, if you had strong feelings against him, even though of course we've never met him, but just based on what's happened and what he's admitted to, after seeing this video, after seeing what he's released to the public for some reason that I don't understand, you're really gonna feel very strongly about him. He actually decided to go ahead and publish and post on his story the conversations that he shared on Snapchat with the girl, Peyton, that he tried to cheat on Liz with. I have no idea why he would do that. We'll get into it in a second. I have all the pictures. He literally just posted it right now and I was like, I have to make a video. But before we do see that, I want to clear some things from my last video, which I'll leave here just in case you haven't seen it. First, that I said that Liz's audience is mainly like teenagers and like really young adults, because that's mainly the things that I was seeing like on TikTok and like the type of comments. And lots of you were saying like, you know, I'm like 30, 40, like all these different age ranges. And you watch her. I mean, same. I'm not an 18-year-old clearly, and I still watch her. So my apologies on that. She does have a huge audience, and I'm sure she has people from all sorts of age ranges. And the second thing I want to clear is actually based on something that she herself just shared today. So let's get into it. So guys, in my last video, me and many other people online as well were calling out how Landon was in a relationship with another girl in the past and was like, you know, obsessively thinking about Liz and like getting excited whenever she would reach out to him on Instagram. And she actually posted the following to her Instagram story, which I have to say is a bit odd, but let's get into it first. So she says, I want to clarify something I have been sent and lies being spread. Landon was absolutely single when he met me. We were both not in a relationship. I don't know how people even came to that conclusion or who made that up, but I would definitely not be dating him if he wasn't single to begin with. When we first met over Instagram 4 years ago, we talked for a couple days and I got into a relationship after, and so did he. Stop this false narrative that's just even more harmful. People love to make up shit weird AF. 4 years ago, DM about book. Liz, single. Landon, single. After a while, both in a relationship and not in contact. 3 years ago, met at an airport in real life. Liz, single. Landon, single. I hate to clarify things about stupid rumors or misconceptions, but I'm already going through a hard time to come at me with, he wasn't single when he got with her. Proof? I would love to know too. Internet makes up stuff for laughs. What the fuck? And then she comments on a comment that someone left that says, I think it's because at the beginning of the video, it's basically that comment that we all, you know, notice about how he was saying like every time she would send me a message, like he adored her, even though it sounded like he was in a relationship. And she says, so it's coming from the last YouTube video. He meant when we were messaging before the relationships we got into, we're not in contact during our relationships. And I feel like there's a lot of weird things going on here. For one, even if this was the case, even if it's referring specifically to right before he got into a relationship, which I think is very, very odd and like super specific, I still don't really buy it. I really do think he was in a relationship with that girl and he was still like thinking about her, because he did say, you know, like, oh, whenever things would go wrong in my relationship, I would always be thinking about how there are still women out there like the wizard Liz. He did say something like that. And I just really don't think that if he had this adoration for this woman very, very, very soon before getting into a relationship, that this would go away right when he got into a relationship, especially seeing what we have now seen about him. And the second thing that I find extremely odd about this, guys, is why is she defending that exactly? Why is she defending him? You know what I mean? Like, this man just cheated on you while pregnant and you're out here getting super hung up over this really small detail that people are catching up, which honestly does not even make a difference. Like whether he was thinking about her and adored her very, very soon, very shortly before getting into a relationship coincidentally, or whether he was doing this while he was already dating someone. Honestly, does it even matter? I just pretty sure the way he's professed how much he adored her, how much he was always thinking about her, I really just do think he was thinking about her from minute one that he reached out to her till he actually got with her. I feel like that's such a weird thing to defend as someone that just got cheated on. I don't really know why she's doing this. I would like to hear your thoughts. I mean, wouldn't she just be so angry with this guy right now that she wouldn't even want to, you know, defend him in any way at all? Maybe she's doing it because she wants people to think that he's not that big of a cheater, that he only like did this to her, but in the past he was actually a good guy. You know what I mean? Which makes me think that there might be room for these two getting back together in the future. And she's just kind of easing into that, you know, like, oh, well, he actually was not thinking about me in the past when he was with that girl. It was only when he was single. I don't know, it's just such a weird thing to defend to me right now by someone that just got cheated on by this guy while pregnant. Maybe you could do this in the future, but like a few days after finding out and you're just defending him in this way, like why would you want to defend the image of this man right now? I just don't get it. You know, I'm not saying anything, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I have seen lots of comments saying that this could be all just be a publicity stunt and that this could be all fake. And who knows, I wouldn't really put it past anybody. We have seen lots of influencers and YouTubers do all sorts of crazy things in the past few years. I'm talking about like faking cancer and God knows what else. I'm not saying she's doing that. I don't even think it would be good for her brand. And it would be such a horrible, traumatic thing to go through as a pregnant woman. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's the case, but there are definitely many odd things here that people are pointing out, as well as the fact that as soon as she found out about this and she got pregnant, she very kind of calmly, irrationally made all these stories and said how she was going, all these Instagram stories, I mean, and said how she was going to donate her engagement ring to single women. And lots of people were saying, you know, it's kind of strange because when you get cheated on, you're not thinking rationally, you're just so emotionally, you're so angry. And it was all so well put together. And also the way that he's coming out on these stories, kind of unfazed in a way, which again, could just be him being the kind of person that we're all assuming him to be. But what I do think is even weirder is the stories that he posted just now, the ones that I want to share about the conversation that he had with the girl. So I'm not accusing her of faking this or any of that, but I'm just saying there are definitely lots of odd elements here. Okay guys, so this is what Landon posted to his story literally just now. First thing he says is transparency. You can't be repentant and grow if you can't own your choices. So I think he's just kind of saying this to preface what he's going to show, which is once again the conversations with the girl he tried to cheat with. And I guess, because I remember I was saying like, why would he do this? And we'll definitely get into that in a second, but he's prefacing that way, you know, like, I'm trying to be transparent, world. Like, look at me owning up to my mistakes or whatever he called it. So this is the conversation. He Snapchats the girl and he's like, are you still in Dallas? And I guess he's from Dallas because Liz was saying how all her things were back in his house in Dallas. And he did say that this is someone from the past. And she says, yeah, why? You know, from the beginning, she's very like, like suspicious. This girl, oh my God, I'll get into it, but I have so much love for this girl and I have not even met her. And he's like, just wondering who all I know is still here. I just got back from London. In New York City Tuesday, then back in Dallas for a week. Do you have plans? And she's like, aren't you married? But guys, before we even get to the rest of the conversation, just the way he's talking gives me so much like fuckboy vibes. Anybody, like you can all recognize it. You know, the way he's texting, he's like, just wondering, like no punctuation. Very just like straightforward, like, do you have plans? Are you still in Dallas? Just the first sentence, you know what I mean? Like, are you still in Dallas? Like, that's such a booty call type of thing. Anyway, so she's like, aren't you married? Again, this girl is effing amazing. Oh my God. And he's like, oh my God. He's like, no. Plus just looking for friends. And she's like, since when aren't you married? And at this point in the conversation, it says, Landon changed chats to delete immediately. Like that feature in Snapchat so that the chats would delete and no one, I wonder who, right? Like nobody would even try to see them or anything. And she's like, since when aren't you married? And he's like, yeah, well, such fuckboy like vocabulary and just way of talking. I'm so triggered just like reading it. And he's like, yeah, well, it's a complicated long distance internet thing. But no, I'm not married. LOL. Not a normal life for sure. And she's like, so your whole relationship is fake? And if you guys remember, Liz had said that he had referred to the relationship as fake. And now I'm seeing that he really did. Kind of, you know, in his own indirect way. And he's like, no, it's not. But I'm not married. That part is not real. We're gonna get into all of it. Okay, we're just reading it right now. We'll get into it because I'm literally so triggered and it's not even me. And the girl is like, what does that even mean? Same girl, same, like, huh? And he's like, ha ha ha, do you want to see me? I can tell you in person. What the fuck? Like, what? Oh my God, I cannot. And she's like, I don't want to hang out with married men. Oh my God, this girl, I swear. And I saw you wearing a wedding ring. And he's like, well, that's fair. But no, not married. And she sends them a picture of him with a wedding ring, I guess. And like laughing, you know, with the laughing emoji. And he's like, on God, that's worn for the video. But never mind. It's complicated. And she's like, explain. And I feel like at this point, she's not even interested in his ass. Like, it's so clear from minute one. But she's just kind of like trying to see the tea. She's like, you know, is it really fake? Like, what's going on? Like, you can tell she's more into it for like the gossip than actually being interested in this F-boy. And he's like, no, never mind. I told you it's complicated. not legally married, maybe will be. And she's like, either way, if you're in a relationship, you shouldn't be trying to hang out with girls. He says, why were you going to come courtside with me then? Just curious, but your point is valid. And she's like, what's your point? You invited my boyfriend and I, and we never came. So she has a boyfriend, or maybe she had a boyfriend in the past, and maybe he knows they broke up, and that's why he's like getting into her DMs or whatever. And he's like, I didn't know you had a boyfriend at the time. And no, not trying to pull a fast one on you. LOL. Was just curious. Right. And she's like, but you said it yourself. You're in a relationship right now. So why are you trying to hang out with me? And he says, well, was not trying to date you, but you're right. Even if the situation is complicated or unresolved, I shouldn't message you. I am sorry. Maybe I'll explain more one day. This is insane. This is insane. Oh, I have so much to say about this. Again, this has not happened to me. I'm in a good, healthy relationship, but it's triggering me so much, guys. It literally triggered me so much. And I feel like everyone's so triggered. That's why we're all reacting to this so strongly, because we've all been there somehow, somewhere, you know? We've either been Liz or we've been Peyton. We've just been there, and it's extremely triggering. So the first thing I want to say is that in his stories, in the Instagram stories that he posted originally that, you know, I reacted to in my last video, he made it sound like it was something very different from this, you know? Like Liz said, like, oh, he DM'd this girl, or like he contacted this girl and he called our relationship fake. And then he really minimized it. The way he said it was very much like, oh, I reached out to someone from the past and I was just like trying to hang out, and then I immediately apologized and felt super bad.
In the middle of texting somebody I should not be texting, in this moment of fucking weakness, like seeking validation, and it's just a bad behavior that I can't believe I did it. But in the moment that I was doing it, I messaged that person that I was sorry and that it was wrong. And I prayed to God that night for strength and clarity to never do that again. That is not who I want to be. It is not what I had.
He made it sound like it was a lot less than this. Like, this is actually so awful. And again, I'm really starting to like just doubt this whole situation, because why would you post that online? Like, why would you share that? The entire world already hates you. Why would you share this? Like, this actually makes this person look absolutely despicable. So let's go from the beginning, right? You know, he's like, oh, I want to know like who's here. Like, I just came back from London, whatever. And she's like, aren't you married? And he's like, no, I'm just looking for friends. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if your man is trying to hang out with a girl and he's just looking for friends, he's not looking for a friend in her. The only exceptions, I'm not trying to offend anyone, don't be easily offended by what I'm going to say, but it's the truth. The only exceptions to this are if the girl is very unattractive. Like, you know damn well that he's not attracted to her. Like, maybe she could be cute, but you know he's not attracted to her. Something like that. Or like, she's like super old, you know, he's like 16 and she's like 80 or something like that. Honestly, even then, watch out. If your man is out here like, oh, I'm just trying to be friends with this girl, like, no, like, that's not a thing, okay? That's not a thing. I'm not saying like some cases can actually take place when guys can be like acquaintances to some girls, or like, you know, maybe they're in a friend group and some of the girls that he's been with are there and he maintains like a cordial relationship. Like, things like that can happen, but like one-on-one meeting with a girl because he's trying to be friends with her, that's not a thing. Especially if the guy is like 26, like this. I mean, honestly, forget the age, like just in general, that's definitely not a thing. And this girl, like, again, I'm not trying to dox her, but I did see the Instagram and she's a beautiful girl. Like, she's a very beautiful girl. There's absolutely no way on earth that he was trying to be friends with her or any of that. He was definitely trying to shoot a shot, and he was doing it in a very fuckboy kind of way, you know, like, hey, what's up? Like, oh, I just want to be friends. And it seems from the conversation that he even like had his eye on her in the past. And that's what I would bet on this. You know, a lot of guys have women that they've always liked. I mean, I guess it's like a human thing, but I feel like it's more of a guy thing for sure. There are lots of girls that guys have liked in the past, and maybe they've never gotten a chance with them, and they always kind of keep that eye on them. And ideally, if the guy is respectful and serious and like truly committed to you, well, he's kind of over it and he like forgets about them all. But if he's immature, or like he's not fully satisfied, or he's like selfish and egotistical like this one, he will always have that eye. He'll always be like, I wonder what that girl's up to. I wonder when I'm gonna get a chance with her. And this is definitely one of those things. You can so tell he was definitely trying to get with her for a while, and now he like thought he had a chance maybe. And just a shout out to her again for being such a girl's girl. Like, this is amazing to me. And then he goes on to say that it's just a long distance thing, that he's not married, that part is not real. And unless we're missing something here, what I think he said is that they were not legally married. So I think he's using this as like a bit of a loophole, you know, to be like, oh, well, technically I'm not married. And that is just such an asshole-y thing to say. Like, by all intents and purposes, you are married, my guy. I mean, you're engaged to this woman. She's carrying your child. Like, what more marriage could you want? Like, what do you mean? You're supposed to be committed to this woman. Guys, my wedding is actually in 10 days. Crazy, I know, super random. That's why I'm all like so triggered with all these things. And I even consider myself married at this point, and I consider my fiance married as well, because it's literally in 10 days. If I saw a conversation of him, I don't think this would happen at all, thank God. Oh my God, imagine like my next video is like, my fiance. And if I saw a conversation of him, God forbid, saying this to a woman, like the woman being like, well, aren't you like married or something? And him being like, well, technically I'm not married. Like, I would be like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is such a douchebag thing to do. And I love how he's saying like that part is not real. It sounds very much like he's just trying to say that it's all like a YouTuber thing, you know, like, oh, well, that part is not real. Like, same that he does with the ring. When she shows him his ring, he's like, oh God, that's worn for the video. Unless we're missing some context here, which could be because, you know, we don't know these people's private life. It really just does seem that he was blaming the whole marriage thing on like the YouTube situation, like the famous YouTuber, like fake agenda, whatever, just to try and get with this girl. And just the way she's like, what does that mean? And he's like, oh, do you want to see me? I can tell you in person. I'm like, oh my God, this is just so bad. Not legally married, maybe will be. But hey, I thought it was fake. If it's fake, why would you be legally married? You see how he's contradicting himself? Like, if it's all just a fake YouTube thing to get views and pretend you're married with each other, why would you be legally married? We don't, as like the audience, we don't need to know or see that you're legally married. All you have to do is tell us that you're married and put a ring on, and we're going to believe you. So that makes me think that he actually was just lying at this point. And it's absolutely devastating that it's exactly when the girl is like, but you're in a relationship. You said it yourself. So why are you trying to hang out with me? That when she says that, it takes for her to say this for him to be like, oh, I'm not trying to date you. You know, you're right. Even if the situation is complicated or unresolved, he literally had a baby on the way. Even if the situation is complicated or unresolved, I should have messaged you. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll explain more. It took her calling him out and his crap multiple times for him to be like, I'm sorry. And this is why it's so disappointing, the stories that he made. Because again, in the stories, he really made it sound like he noticed right away that he was making a mistake and then apologized right away. And that's not what we're seeing here. What we're seeing here is a woman standing on her ground and being like, I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to deal with a married or engaged guy. I know you're in a relationship and this is weird and inappropriate, so I don't want to hang out with you. It took for her to stand on her ground for him to do that, for him to apologize and stop texting her. Has she acted any other way? Has she been like, oh, you're not married? Okay, let's see each other. Or has she acted any other way? This would have ended up not in him just texting her, but in them having intimate relationships, like 100%. Another thing that proves my point that he was not trying to be friends with her is that in his own story, when he talked about this, he said that he DM'd this girl in a moment of weakness. Why would, if you just want to be friends with her, why would it be a moment of weakness? You understand? Like, that moment of weakness thing implies that there's actually like a lot of lust going on there, that you're like lustfully thinking about this person and you want to get with them and you haven't had a chance to. And in a moment of weakness, you succumbed to that temptation. So yeah, guys, that's what's going on. This is extremely, extremely bad. Like, I think it's such a bad look on him. I don't know why he's doing this. I think in his head, he's like, oh, let me be transparent and maybe they'll like me. But no, actually, now it's just a lot worse. It's not this like innocent mistake that he tried to play it as. He is actively trying to meet with her. He is engaged. He has a pregnant woman at home. And he's actively calling this relationship fake and trying to meet up with this girl. It is so devastating. To put the physical, because STDs are a thing and STDs can really affect a pregnant woman especially, to put the physical, emotional, psychological health of both his wife and his child at risk for this. And I think the reason why it's so hard for us to see is because it's so cold. You know, like, how could you just so coolly like talk to her like that? You know what I mean? And for me, I think the worst part is the denying of the relationship. Like, playing it off as like some YouTube scam thing, you know, like, oh, well, it's not real. We just want it for the video. For me, that part is just insane. Like, there's no going back to a man who says that. Like, that is beyond disrespect at this point. And I just really hope she doesn't succumb to the manipulation that he's likely going to be playing off, because guys like this, they always, minimize it and try to manipulate you so that you get back with them. So I really hope she stands her ground, and I hope he learns from these mistakes and stops effing people over his lack of control. And please take a look at my last video on this topic. I fully analyzed why this guy should not be in a relationship. He's just not ready. He's literally a boy. I mean, I think it's obvious now, but he's evidently a boy. He's not ready. And it is so important for us women. I mean, there are no guarantees in life. You can really, try to build something with someone and you can think that they're ready for you, and they might not. They might end up breaking your heart and, doing horrible things or whatever. But I think the best thing to do, even though there are no guarantees, is really to just take it slow with people. And there are exceptions, but most guys at this age, they're just really not ready for this kind of commitment, especially this kind of man. So yeah, guys, I would love to hear your thoughts on this. It's such a sad situation. I would love to hear what you think about this. If you've been through something similar, why do you think he's doing this to begin with? Because it just looks so bad on him, but maybe in his head, he's like, oh, maybe they'll like me now. Getting a phone call, but thank you for watching this. Subscribe, leave me your likes and comments, and I'll see you very soon.